I transmigrated into the doctor in a tragic novel. The female lead, 2 months pregnant, was tortured by the domineering CEO until she was bleeding heavily and on the verge of death. The CEO waved his hand and commanded, "Save the child, she can die, but the child must live." My colleagues and I looked at him as if he were an idiot. He glared at me furiously. "If the child isn't saved, you'll all be buried with it." I was speechless. If this had happened 3 months ago, hearing that, I would have definitely sent him to the psychiatric department. But now, I've grown. After all, I've been stuck in this ridiculous novel for 3 months and am no longer the naive girl I once was. With the domineering CEO's level of education, how could he possibly not know these basic medical facts and legal common sense? Is this reasonable? This is very reasonable. I transmigrated into an abusive romance novel. The domineering CEO male lead will go through love-hate entanglements with 3 women. For the first 99 chapters, he abuses the female lead both physically and emotionally, and in the last chapter, he suddenly repents. They reconcile and get a happy ending. With such a brain-dead setting, how can I expect any normal logic in this book? But it doesn't matter. I'm not the female lead anyway. What do I care if this world makes sense or not? I've long since come to terms with it. Since I'm here, I have to live well. To live well, I have to make a lot of money. It's quite obvious that with the CEO's level of intelligence, he can definitely provide a lot of convenience for me to make money. To be honest, I'm quite disappointed that I only heard such a request today. 3 whole months. Do you have any idea how I've been living these past 3 months? The hospital is the essential setting for the emotional entanglements of protagonists in tragic stories, whether it's depression, kidnapping, hair-pulling fights, miscarriages, car accidents, or explosions. It all ultimately comes to a conclusion in the hospital. My role is so crucial, yet they only brought the drama to me today. Do you know how long I've been waiting? I wait every day to make money. No, I wait every day to contribute to the deepening of the male and female leads' relationship. Just as I was fuming with anger, I heard the domineering CEO's scolding. "What are you standing there for? Either save the child, or get out of here right now." My colleague, with unwavering determination, tried to save the domineering CEO's foolish brain by explaining medical and legal common sense. The domineering CEO angrily shouted, "Get lost, you useless fool." After cursing, he looked at me with a cold expression. "Dr. Lisa, you can do it, right?" I took a deep breath and replied firmly, "No problem." The domineering CEO nodded in satisfaction. My colleague was utterly shocked. I pushed up my glasses. "I need a thermos. Time is of the essence. So I hope you can deliver it immediately." The domineering CEO was puzzled. "A thermos? Exactly," I said with unwavering determination. A 2-month-old baby. Save the child, not the mother. Where exactly are we supposed to put the baby? As a responsible doctor, I must find a suitable position for the child. A thermos cup is just right. Of course, I couldn't tell the domineering CEO the truth. So I started talking nonsense. "There's no time to explain. This is important medical equipment. Although the hospital is equipped with it, I feel that something of that standard is not worthy of your noble status." The domineering CEO was very satisfied with this explanation and called to order. 3 minutes. Get me the best insulated cup in the world. After getting the insulated cup, I dragged my stunned colleague back to the operating room. It was clear that my poor colleague's soul had been completely shattered by the absurd remarks from the domineering CEO and me. It took him a long time to snap out of it. The female lead's surgery had long been over, and I sat to the side, just killing time. According to the original story, the villainess will soon burst into the operating room, smashing everything that can be smashed and throwing the rest into the trash. The domineering CEO's precious thermos, and of course the non-existent child inside it, will all be discarded by the villainess. And all of this has nothing to do with kind-hearted me. The plot is progressing very smoothly. The supporting female character made a huge scene and then stormed off. The domineering CEO arrived late. Of course, I couldn't let this opportunity slip by. I immediately rushed over to shift the blame, saying, "Mr. Lewis, everything was going smoothly. But who knew something like this would happen?" The child, sigh, "It's all because we were too exhausted from the surgery that we couldn't stop her." I did my utmost to put on a deeply pained expression, only wishing I could squeeze out a few tears. The domineering CEO was very satisfied with my medical skills and professionalism, immediately appointing me as his personal physician. Then, with reddened eyes and full of anger, he went to settle scores with the female antagonist. The salary package offered by the domineering CEO was quite substantial. I was very satisfied with this outcome. After all, staying close to the domineering CEO would provide more opportunities to make money, but clearly, there is no such thing as a free lunch. Even the foolish domineering CEO knows that if he pays me, he has to give me something to do. A few days later, in the middle of the night, I was woken up by a call from the domineering CEO. 10 minutes, my place. I'm shocked. This line is truly worthy of a brainless domineering CEO. Still, my home. Which home are you talking about? You're so noble. You're so amazing. You buy a bunch of villas to live in alternately. Your secretary sent me over a dozen addresses earlier. Even if I'm providing door-to-door service, I need to know which one to go to. Right, damn it, going crazy in the middle of the night. If I don't fleece you dry, I don't deserve to be called Lisa. I slowly put on my clothes while pulling out my phone to look up those dozen or so addresses. In the end, I narrowed it down to one of them using the process of elimination and a faint memory. Thank goodness I'm so clever. Otherwise I really wouldn't have been able to complete such a difficult task. When I arrived, the female lead Susan was sitting on the bed, wrapped in a towel and trembling. The domineering CEO sat nearby, legs crossed, smoking a cigarette. What a beast. The female lead just got discharged from the hospital a few days ago. Are you really that impatient? Do something decent for once. I gave the female lead a quick checkup. She has a cold and minor external injuries. But she's just a bit mentally broken. However, as the female lead in a tragic story, her body and nerves are much tougher than the average person's, so it's not a big deal. The domineering CEO acted very coldly. Only after I finished treating the female lead's external injuries did he say impatiently, "You're late, me. Is your reaction time that slow? I've been here for half an hour, and you're only now remembering that I was late earlier. Besides, what's the big deal about being late? I live in the city center, and you live in the Villa District. Do you think I can teleport? The only reason I came at all is for the money." Okay, I rolled my eyes internally but kept a straight face. "Mr. Lewis, your secretary gave me over 10 addresses, and I hate it when people make excuses." I was speechless. Yeah, right, it's all excuses. You're the one with the problem, so you're always right. I quickly thought about it. There's no way to communicate normally with a domineering CEO, such a foolish creature. I picked up my medical kit. "I'm sorry, Mr. Lewis, I'm not qualified for this job. Please find someone else." The domineering CEO was clearly taken aback. I turned and walked away without hesitation. "Didn't expect that, did you? Everyone else is crying and begging to work for you." "But I refuse. I'm all about rebellion." Wait a moment. I was almost at the door when the domineering CEO's voice came from behind. I turned around coldly. "Mr. Lewis, my abilities are limited. He took a set of keys from the drawer and tossed them to me. "For the villa next door. Move in immediately. Starting tomorrow, this will be your workplace." I was ecstatic inside, but still pretended to be troubled. "But what about the hospital? You don't need to worry. Once you finish your work here, the position of hospital director at our group will be yours." Me? Can the position of hospital director really be given away so casually? I really underestimated how ridiculous this novel is. But, whatever, I'm just an extra. Why should I worry about the main character's affairs? Whatever you say goes. I packed my bags overnight and moved into the villa. Forget about the money for now. It's not bad to enjoy a few days in the villa. Early the next morning, the female lead went missing. I discovered it. While the domineering CEO was busy searching for her everywhere, I quickly slipped back to the neighboring villa, changed my clothes, pushed a small cart, and hid in the greenbelt next to the CEO's house. The author of this book probably wanted to highlight the CEO's wealth, as every time the relationship between the male and female leads heated up, the male lead would shower the female lead with gifts. But once a conflict arises, the domineering CEO throws all of the female lead's belongings away. When the two reconcile, everything is bought again. What a perfect habit indeed. I crouched in the dense greenery, munching on sunflower seeds, scrolling through my phone, waiting to pick up the discarded items. Sure enough, it wasn't long before the domineering CEO returned home and immediately swept all of the female lead's clothes, shoes, jewelry, and bags out the door, after the nanny finished throwing things away and left. I directly moved the trash can back to the neighboring villa. You're asking why the nanny didn't pick up the discarded items. Probably because working for such a domineering CEO has affected the nanny's intelligence as well. Hey, whatever. Anyway, I managed to get a bargain. Looking at the stuff in the trash can, I grinned like an idiot. I listed all the clothes and shoes online. Then, driving my beat-up old car, I took the jewelry, bags, and accessories to a second-hand store to sell. Since I was in a hurry to sell, the prices the shop offered weren't ideal. Even so, seeing the over 10 million added to my bank account, I still fell into deep thought. The person who used to collect trash near the tycoon's house, did they become a billionaire long ago? I just hate that I'm not that trash collector. Today is the day the tycoon gets married. In the original story, the female lead disappeared for a month after running away. During this long month, the domineering CEO quickly married the partner arranged by his family. The domineering CEO and the second female lead followed the path of love after marriage. The second female lead is wealthy and beautiful, comes from a superior family background, and was raised as the apple of her parents' eyes. Thus, she has a flamboyant personality and an unyielding spirit. The male lead both loves and hates her personality. The two of them have been entangled for a long time. Is this really a romance novel for women? Why do I vaguely sense the vibe of a novel for men? Why is it that in romance novels for women, the most satisfying character is the man? I sat in the corner, questioning the original plot while devouring everything on the table. The wedding banquet of the domineering CEO was naturally top-notch. Even the most ordinary dishes were ones I usually couldn't afford to eat. The relatives and friends from both sides were all people of status, and they were already tired of these delicacies. Besides, they came here to network and didn't have time to eat. But I'm different. I came specifically to eat. I'll take whatever free meal I can get. I devoured a whole plate of shrimp and stole a moment to glance at the girl standing next to the domineering CEO. She's really beautiful. The second female lead, Kathy, is a stunning beauty with striking features. Before I saw her, I didn't feel anything, but now that I've seen her, I feel a bit uncomfortable. She's beautiful, rich, and exceptionally capable at her job. But after meeting the domineering CEO, she got caught up in trivial romantic struggles every day. In the end, she lost everything and her family was destroyed. Sigh, what a pity. It's all because of this ridiculous plot. I took a big, angry bite of the abalone to express my fury, while I was stuffing my face. A handsome young man suddenly rushed onto the stage and began to vent his grievances at the people on stage. After all these years of feelings, you're actually marrying someone else now. Were all those sweet words you said to me before just lies? All these years of love and time have been wasted in vain. This line, I couldn't hold back and spat out the freshly squeezed juice I had just drunk. But it doesn't make sense. After crossing over, I absorbed all the details of the plot. Just like in the original story, I couldn't help but look at Kathy, this beautiful young woman, with newfound respect. Well done. Why should such a lovely young woman have to marry such trash? I happily took another sip of my juice, adhering to the principle of enjoying the drama without getting involved. I remained calm on the surface but was excited inside. Fight, fight. That handsome young man was really impressive and didn't disappoint me at all. He roared in grief and anger. I must have misjudged you, Louis, you heartless scoundrel. Holy shit, I really was too naive, underestimating how absurd the plot could be. After finishing his accusation, the young man took off the ring on his finger, threw it at the domineering CEO, and then covered his face as he ran away, leaving everyone on the scene in disarray. After a long silence, the relatives of both the man and the woman erupted into a heated argument. The scene was chaotic and disorderly. I was extremely excited. I took out a few plastic bags, ready to take away all the untouched dishes from the table. My eyes were fixed on the roasted suckling pig platter, but my hands were eager to grab that plate of steamed grouper. Only when I grabbed the plate did I realize there was another hand on the other end of it. Looking up, I saw a sweet-looking young woman, just like me, holding a plastic bag and preparing to take the food from the table. We both let go at the same time. She said, "You take it, you take it." I said, "You take it, you take it." We're birds of a feather. We both saw a glimmer of mutual understanding in each other's eyes. She hurried over to me and whispered, "Do you have any more bags? I just checked, and the two tables over there are too busy watching the commotion to eat." TSK. This person, so unprofessional, coming out to get freebies. How come you didn't even prepare the tools properly? She probably noticed the disdain in my eyes. While helping me sweep the roast suckling pig platter into the bag, she sighed, "I was careless. I just didn't expect today's event to be so exceptionally lively." I grabbed a handful of bags from my backpack and handed them to her. She was clearly shocked by my generosity. "Thank you, brave warrior. Let's meet under the statue outside the hotel later." "What? Split the loot?" I excitedly grabbed her wrist. Take the wine too, take the whole box, it'll sell well. She was astonished, as expected of a senior. You really are experienced. If it were someone else's wedding banquet, I definitely wouldn't take the alcohol. After all, no one's money comes easily. The host can return any unopened alcohol. But, a tycoon's money is like windfall. If you don't take it, it's a waste. I was the first to finish the fight and swaggered out of the hotel with the spoils. As soon as I reached the agreed-upon spot, I saw the handsome young man who had just caused a scene at the wedding banquet glaring furiously at a statue in front of him. His scorching gaze seemed as if it could burn a hole right through the statue. Recalling the young man's stunning lines from earlier, I had a vague suspicion in my mind. I take a deep breath. The heavenly king covers the earth tiger, stewed chicken with mushrooms. The pagoda subdues the river demon. Add chili to the mushrooms. After confirming the look in your eyes, I know we're both time travelers. He cried tears of joy. My kin, please give me a bite of what you're eating. I was speechless. The handsome young man devoured 2 large pieces of roast suckling pig in just a few bites. I felt heartbroken over the resources I had gathered. Do you have a trash can in your stomach? The handsome young man had his mouth full of meat. I haven't eaten in 2 days. That's so tragic. Never mind. Since we're both time travelers, I won't make a big deal out of it. The innocent-looking girl quickly rushed over to me with her arms full of shopping bags, and upon seeing the handsome young man, she froze for a moment. You too, don't get the wrong idea. He's actually... I glanced down at the rather ungracefully eating young man and said, he's a beggar. The innocent-looking girl. Fortunately, the young man didn't object to this. The location is really inconvenient. We found a bench in the nearby greenbelt and started dividing the spoils. The innocent-looking girl was about to give me half of what she had snatched. Before I could refuse, the handsome young man snatched the bag from her and started devouring the contents. I was quite displeased with this. Who are you? How dare you just grab someone else's things? The young man didn't even look up as he ate. My name is Tom. As for the rest. He glanced at the innocent-looking girl, hesitating to speak. I rolled my eyes. If it weren't for the fact that we were both time travelers, I would have beaten him up. The innocent-looking girl also spoke up. My name is Bella. I came to the city to seek investment from Mr. Lewis. I froze. What did you say your name was? Bella. Damn. I just wanted to score a freebie. But I ended up meeting the third female lead, as expected of me, in the original story. The third female lead indeed crossed paths with the domineering CEO in order to secure an investment. The third female lead is a sunny girl from the countryside, intelligent, kind, and responsible, who instantly captivates the domineering CEO. Then they go back and forth for dozens of chapters, only to part ways with resentment in the end. I blinked my eyes. Heaven has finally opened its eyes. It's clearly hinting at me to stop this girl from falling into the tycoon's clutches. How much investment do you need? Bella held out one hand. 50 million. I'm a bit troubled. This number is indeed too large. Sigh. I'm still too poor. It seems I need to keep working hard and squeeze the domineering CEO a few more times. Bella shook her head. 500,000. I'm shocked. Aren't all the big bosses' deals worth billions in minutes? Why is he even bothering with a small project worth just a few $100,000? Bella noticed my confusion. Mr. Lewis's group recently launched an agricultural support project. I wanted to participate. But I found out too late and missed the registration deadline. That's why I came here to try my luck. Oh, I suddenly realized. 50,000. I have it. I pulled a card out of my bag. There's 20,000 in here. The password is 1 to 6. Let's exchange contact info. Give me your account number, and I'll transfer the rest to you later. Bella's eyes nearly popped out of her head. I felt secretly pleased. After reading so many stories where people casually throw around bank cards, I finally got to show off in style today. Bella trembled as she took the card, her face filled with indescribable shock. We've known each other for less than 2 hours. Aren't you afraid I'm a scammer? You're so good looking, you definitely can't be a scammer. Tom, who was nearby, saw this and immediately threw away the chicken leg in his hand. Rich friend, I'm also here looking for investment. Get out. Bella tossed all the things she had gathered to me and happily walked away with the card. I looked at Tom beside me. Please tell us your story. Tom's father was originally a senior executive at the domineering CEO's company. The day after his father opposed the CEO's idiotic decision, he was fired for stepping into the company with his left foot first. After that, he was relentlessly pursued by the CEO's malicious forces and eventually died suddenly from a sudden illness, not long after. His mother also passed away from excessive grief. With such a tragic backstory, I'm not even the main character. How does this lousy book make any sense? Tom grumbled indignantly. I'm just a side character. What's the point of sticking around here? I want to go back to my original world. I've even tried things like suicide, but nothing works. I thought, if I could disrupt the original plot, maybe I could go back. So today, I took a bold shot. I nodded approvingly. Bold indeed. Tom gnawed fiercely on a chicken bone. He's already ruined my family and destroyed my life. Even if I die, I have to make sure he suffers too. I gave him a thumbs up. Impressive. Tom suddenly looked at me with pitiful eyes. Sis, you're my one and only sister. I'm broke now, with nothing to eat or drink. For the sake of us both being transmigrators, please take me in. Don't make me get down on my knees and beg. I remained unmoved. Then go ahead and beg. Tom was very sincere. You don't want me to cling to your leg and cry here, do you? I was speechless. I ended up taking Tom in. Don't ask. If you ask, it's about saving face. After all, he's the kind of person who would specifically go to a wedding just to annoy the domineering CEO. At the time, there were quite a few people around. I was afraid he might actually come up with some malicious plan to mess with me. Anyway, since I'm living in a villa now, my old house is just sitting empty. Moreover, my plan to take advantage of the situation also needs an accomplice. The domineering CEO is handling the annulment of his engagement with the second female lead. I brought ingredients to cook hot pot with Tom. I told Tom part of the plan, but he sneered at my suggestion and firmly stated, I want to go back. What's so good about going back? By taking advantage of the domineering CEO here, we can become rich quickly. Isn't it great to live a wealthy life? Tom, I'm a second-generation demolition heir. My family owns 2 buildings. Silence reigns tonight on the Nanjing-Yangtze River Bridge. Suddenly, I didn't feel as sorry for him anymore, and even wanted to kick him out. No wonder he could use such vicious methods to disgust the domineering CEO. If I were him, I would also fight desperately to go back. But I really need a helper, so I coaxed him step by step. What if you can never go back? Don't you just want to disrupt the plot to return? Let's team up to exploit the domineering CEO. It'll disrupt the plot and bring us wealth. A win-win situation. I even started painting a rosy picture. By then, if you can go back, you can continue being a landlord. If you can't, you can just buy more properties here and be a landlord. Isn't that perfect? Tom thought briefly. Deal. A few days later, I took Tom to the artificial lake in the park to crack sunflower seeds. Tom spat out a sunflower seed shell. Didn't you say there was an important event? Is it just cracking sunflower seeds by the artificial lake? Your hobbies are quite unique. Silence. Of course, I didn't come here just to eat sunflower seeds. The female supporting character, Kathy, will jump into the lake here today. Then, after being rescued by the domineering CEO, she will fall for him. After hearing my explanation, Tom raised an eyebrow and said, So, you plan to rescue the female supporting character first and make her fall for you instead? Me, this was a route I hadn't considered, but she's a highly educated, beautiful, and wealthy woman. That face, that figure, that ability. She's more than 100 times better than me. Why am I suddenly feeling a little moved? No. I quickly deny it to myself. No matter who saves you, this kind of repay with your body plot is just disgusting. Ugh, this garbage plot. I'll puke first to show my respect. Tom took the opportunity to snatch the melon seeds from my hand. Me, since you're going to puke anyway, don't waste them, you scoundrel. I'll just kick him into the lake first. While I was grabbing Tom's hair and snatching the sunflower seeds, Kathy arrived. A beauty is a beauty. Even when she's not in high spirits and her makeup is hastily done, she still looks absolutely stunning. She walked straight toward the lakeside. I let go of Tom's hair and followed after her. While she was mentally preparing herself, I strolled over and said, At this time of year, the lake water is actually a bit cold. Kathy turned to look at me, expressionless. It's not worth it for a scumbag. I know plenty of tall and strong guys. Want me to share their WeChat with you? Kathy wondered. Do you know me? What a silly question. Your gossip with Mr. Lewis has been trending for days. The photos have gone viral all over the internet. Kathy suddenly sighed. Actually, I don't think it's that big of a deal either, but it feels like my actions are out of my control. I was all set to put on some makeup and go have fun with my girlfriends. How did I end up here in the blink of an eye? I really wanted to shout in her ear, because you're a fictional character and you have to follow the plot. Kathy touched her forehead. Am I sick? I've been feeling like something's off lately. But I keep forgetting about it soon after. I hesitated for a moment. You might not believe this, but you're actually a character in a novel. The reason your actions feel out of your control is because that's how the plot is written. Do you want to change your fate? We can work together, Kathy scoffed. Even if I am a character in a novel, I have the protagonist's halo. My life is bound to be smooth sailing. Even if I run into a scumbag now, there will be a better male lead waiting for me later. Why should I change anything? You're the villainess. I shattered her foolish fantasy with a single sentence. Kathy wore an expression of utter disbelief. Haven't you read any early-stage tragic novels? Without a troubled background, how could you even qualify as the female lead? Privileged, wealthy young ladies like you, who have it all, are always cast as the villainous supporting characters. Lewis is the male lead. Kathy froze for 3 seconds, then exclaimed, "Damn it, I'm beautiful, rich, and the line of people chasing after me stretches all the way to France. That bastard author actually made me the villainous supporting character. I took the opportunity to add fuel to the fire." Exactly. Are you really not going to fight back against this shitty fate? Of course, I have to fight back. Kathy was so worked up she almost slapped her thigh. 5 minutes later, we were sitting in a coffee shop discussing our next steps. I remember you have a company under your name, right? Kathy nodded. It's under my name, but I'm just a figurehead. My family sent people to manage it. I actually have no say. My family has always told me that a girl's role is to marry for alliance. I don't need to worry about company matters. Just hire someone to manage it. I, a graduate of a prestigious business school, am actually sitting idle at home. I nodded repeatedly. It's truly heartbreaking to hear. It's all because of this garbage plot. Exactly. We must resist, Kathy said angrily, slapping her thigh. Of course, it was Tom's thigh she slapped. Tom gritted his teeth in pain. Stop talking nonsense and actually do something useful. After saying that, he turned to Kathy. And you, no matter how excited you are, please slap your own leg. I rubbed my nose. The person managing your company has issues. Your company's biggest supplier is his relative. Kick him out and take back control of the company's management. No, Kathy immediately refused. Why, you don't want to fight back anymore? No, Kathy frowned. To put it bluntly, I'm just a puppet. My family still controls the company. If I kick out the current management, my family will immediately send someone new. Then what should we do? Starting a new company takes half a month just for the registration process, and time won't wait for us. I was very anxious. Before transmigrating into this book, I was just a simple student who hadn't experienced much of society's harsh realities. I really don't know how to handle these company matters. Kathy patted her chest confidently. Leave this to me. Go on with the rest of your plan. I nodded. Lewis is currently negotiating a collaboration with a software company called Invisible. Did you know about this? I know. That company is looking for investment, and my family previously received their materials. I'm quite optimistic about it, but my family isn't very enthusiastic. Is Lewis enthusiastic about it? I remember in the original story, the domineering CEO didn't really care about this project either, but because he has the protagonist's halo. Even if he invests in a public restroom, he can make a huge profit, but I still need to make sure. After all, he has the protagonist's halo, and if we forcefully take a project he values highly, there's an 80% chance he'll retaliate. Just look at poor little Tom to see what happens. The protagonist does bad things without facing any consequences and even feels it's justified. Kathy shook her head. Not really. His company operates with high efficiency. If they were truly interested, they wouldn't have dragged it out for so long. They probably see it as a mediocre opportunity, which is why they're hesitating. We need to beat them to it. I said to Kathy, the video software this company is developing will take the world by storm once it's launched. Kathy's eyes lit up, but then she looked troubled again. They're asking for $50 million in the first round of funding. Do you have that much? We spent a long time calculating head to head. Kathy and I have a total of over $20 million in cash. We're still short by more than $20 million. Kathy relies on her family for support. Her daily expenses, food, and living are all covered by her parents' cards, so she doesn't have that much cash in her own name. If we suddenly come up with $20 million, it would be hard to explain if her family found out. We both looked at Tom. Tom curled up into a ball. Even if you two sold me, I wouldn't be worth $20 million, useless man. I sighed and stood up. Let's go back and keep milking the domineering CEO. I went to buy Tom a phone first. This bastard is really so poor he has nothing. If I didn't desperately need a helper, I'd kick him out right now. Did you remember everything I said? Tom looked excited and nodded repeatedly. It's quite thrilling, stimulating my ass. You're just a lookout. Do you think you're KGB or something? Confirmed that Tom is in position. I rushed into the CEO's villa with a stack of photos in hand. The CEO was venting his anger at his team of bodyguards. Useless. It's been so long, and you still can't find a single living person. Are all of you idiots? The CEO's bodyguards are all tall and imposing, with broad shoulders and slim waists. I couldn't bear to see the handsome guys being scolded. I quickly rushed forward and said, Mr. Lewis, I found this at the entrance. That is a stack of Susan's photos. I took them. I know all the plot lines, so of course I know where the female lead went. To better take advantage of the domineering CEO, I had already taken these photos, but I hadn't found the right opportunity to bring them out before, and just like that, the opportunity presented itself. Tom's call came in at just the right moment. Did you get all the photos? I have to say, that bastard's voice sounded quite pleasant over the phone. I turned on the speakerphone. The domineering CEO snatched the phone away. Who are you? What do you want? I won't allow you to harm Susan. Don't misunderstand. I'm not a kidnapper. I just happen to know Susan's address. The domineering CEO looked frantic. How much money do you want? Name your price. I quickly interrupted the CEO. How do we know the photo isn't photoshopped? We want to see a live stream. I interrupted the domineering CEO, which made him very unhappy. But when he heard what I said, his expression immediately brightened. Tom said unhurriedly, no problem, 100,000. Once the money is in my account, I'll start the live stream immediately. The domineering CEO immediately made a phone call. In less than 3 minutes, Tom's video call came through. In the frame, Susan was washing clothes in a dilapidated courtyard, utterly pitiable. The domineering CEO's eyes instantly reddened as he roared into the phone. Where is she? Where exactly is she? How much money do you want? Name your price. Tom, however, hung up the phone. The domineering CEO, furious and flustered, smashed my phone. Me, Mr. Lewis, that's my phone. The domineering CEO glared at me fiercely. Although the phone itself isn't important, it's the only way for them to contact us. After all, not just anyone can get their hands on your contact information. The domineering CEO fell silent. I sighed. Miss Song is really pitiful. That place is so run down. She must have suffered a lot, but now we don't even know how to contact her. The domineering CEO showed his signature pained expression, his eyes reddening. It's all my fault. I was too careless. I shouldn't have let her know about the arranged marriage. I rolled my eyes inwardly. This scumbag, even now, all he thinks about is how to keep it from others, not about calling off the marriage. I rubbed my nose with the onion slices I had prepared earlier, making my eyes red. Mr. Lewis, you need to think of something quickly. Miss Song has suffered so much. You have to find her soon. The domineering CEO waved his hand and had his secretary transfer 20,000 yuan to me. I immediately went out and bought a new phone. After inserting the SIM card, I showed the messages Tom had sent to the domineering CEO. He wants 5 million. The domineering CEO's expression was unreadable. I'm a bit nervous, asking for too much. Who would have thought that the next second, the domineering CEO showed a pleased expression. Good, this price is worthy of Susan, me. Damn it, I asked for too little. Tom received the money and immediately sent over the location. The domineering CEO immediately set off with his team of V-shaped bodyguards to capture the female lead. Tom, Kathy, and I sat together cracking sunflower seeds. Isn't this a bit inappropriate? The female lead's life matters too. Tom feigned a half-hearted sense of guilt. I spat out a melon seed shell. The original plot said that at this time, the domineering CEO found the female lead at the rural elementary school, but it didn't specify how. I just filled in the details. Tom froze for a moment. Then it's fine. I snatched a small handful of melon seeds from Kathy. Did you get it sorted on your end? Sorted. Kathy was very relaxed. I checked the accounts and got the evidence, then directly sent that person home to be idle. Tom was shocked. He would obediently go home. Humph. Kathy sneered. Either go home or go to jail. It's his choice. If he doesn't keep his mouth shut and my family finds out, he won't get off easy either. In situations like this, everyone understands without saying a word. Tom and I gave a thumbs up. Impressive. Tom worried. But we're still over 10 million short. Where are we going to get that? I smiled and said, of course, I got it from the domineering CEO. I leaned close to Kathy's ear and whispered a few words. Kathy's eyes lit up, and she picked up her phone and walked to the side. Not long after, she returned with a beaming face. "It's done." Tom's jaw dropped. I smiled mysteriously. Susan just got back, and the domineering CEO is as nervous as if she were the apple of his eye. Just ask him for money directly. If he doesn't give it, go bother his precious. Kathy held her phone. 15 million, transferred. I'm going to talk to WX about the investment right now. There's no need to be in such a hurry. Kathy stuffed the remaining sunflower seeds into my hands. Time waits for no one, and delays bring changes. Comrades, wait for my good news. A few days later, Tom and I were cooking instant noodles at Kathy's villa. Tom opened a bottle of soda. Eating instant noodles in a villa, sigh, I thought there would be a feast. My pockets are emptier than my face right now. If you want a feast, sure, go out and work hard to earn one. I just moved out of the CEO's villa yesterday. He and Susan are now inseparable, always lovey-dovey together. My presence as a doctor would remind him of unpleasant past experiences, so I quickly got out of the villa. I was planning to go back to my old place to live and kick Tom out onto the streets. But Kathy took both Tom and me to her villa. This huge villa, over 500 square meters, became like a shared apartment for Tom and me. Each of us had our own room, absolutely no interference. The noodles had just been cooked when Kathy walked in. Tom very considerately added a set of bowls and chopsticks, teasing Kathy, "You really have a dog's nose. You walk in the moment the food is ready." Kathy leaned in. "Instant noodles. I want 2 eggs in mine." I was speechless. "Fine." Kathy brought quite a few ingredients. I cooked another pot of noodles and added some other ingredients, making it look much more abundant. Kathy raised a glass of soda. "Comrades, the difficulties before us are only temporary. The happiness ahead is what lasts." Tom and I remained unmoved. Cough, cough. Kathy cleared her throat. "I'll cover your living expenses for this period." "Oh," Tom and I let out cheers. We can't reach the pie in the sky, but the living expenses right in front of us are what truly matter. Actually, Tom and I don't spend much money. We just need to have food to eat. As soon as I finished speaking, my phone rang. It was a delivery. A few days ago, the third female lead, Bella, said that to thank me, she would send me some local specialties as a token of appreciation. Consider it a bonus. But I never expected that the local specialties she sent would be an entire truckload. The 3 of us stared at the truck full of vegetables, along with 10 chickens and 2 pigs. Exchanging bewildered looks, Tom picked up one of the chickens and said, "Looks like we can improve our meals." I turned to Kathy and asked, "Do you own a vegetable supermarket?" 6 months later, the video software developed by WX was launched. Within just 2 months, the software became a nationwide sensation. Seizing the opportunity, Kathy developed an international version and introduced the software into foreign markets, keeping herself extremely busy every day. Tom and I also made a fortune. Tom bought many houses and finally became a landlord as he wished. I started an investment company, dedicated to discovering and helping more young entrepreneurs. Thanks to this investment, Kathy successfully broke free from her family's constraints and no longer had to do things against her will. Sigh, life with money is truly troubling. I stared at the row of diamond rings in front of me and sighed. Each one is a delight to the eyes. But I only have 10 fingers and can only wear 10 rings. What a headache. Huh, you mean my toes? Rings are meant to be worn for others to see, aren't they? What's the point of wearing them on your feet, Dr. Lisa? A somewhat unfamiliar voice suddenly came from behind me. I turned around and saw the domineering CEO standing there with his assistant. "Long time no see, you." The CEO looked at me. "Have changed a lot." "Yes," I smiled. "Money makes me beautiful. What do you like? I'll buy it for you." "Okay." The domineering CEO was spending money, and I was overjoyed. Pointing at the rings in the display case, I said, "This one, this one, this one." The domineering CEO waved his hand and said, "Wrap these 3 up, except for these 3. I like all the others." The domineering CEO was speechless. I beamed with joy, but before I could get the ring, the domineering CEO suddenly turned pale and collapsed. "Me, seriously, if you can't afford it, just say so. I'm not an unreasonable person. Fainting as a tactic is just too low." But as the domineering CEO fainted, I suddenly felt the world spinning and everything seemed on the verge of collapse. Damn it, the domineering CEO is the male lead of this world. If he dies, will this world disappear? Please, no, I've just amassed a fortune of billions. I don't want to become penniless again so soon. Thinking of this, I immediately rushed forward to begin the rescue. I am a doctor who can meet the domineering CEO with top-notch professional skills. Just as I was about to pull the CEO's secretary over to give him artificial respiration, the CEO slowly regained consciousness. Oh no, why do I see a pie chart in his eyes? 3 parts confusion, 3 parts bewilderment, 3 parts gratitude, and 1 part foolishness. Dr. Lisa, was it you who saved me? From today onward, you are the most special woman in my life. Damn, I recalled the original plot. At this point, the domineering CEO should have been entangled in a love-hate relationship with the third female lead, Bella, but Bella had received my investment and had long been dedicated to helping her fellow townsfolk get rich, so she never had any interaction with the domineering CEO. So, is the overwhelming charisma of the domineering CEO aimed at me? Since you're asking for trouble. Don't blame me for what happens next. Every action has its consequence, and I am the karma for the domineering CEO. Since he was already awake, I immediately gave him 2 sharp slaps across the face, then looked at him with a concerned expression. Mr. Lewis, are you feeling better now? If 2 slaps aren't enough to wake him up, I don't mind giving him a few more. The domineering CEO's brain really isn't working well. He successfully attributed those 2 slaps to a special method I used to save him. Miss Lisa's medical skills are still as excellent as ever. I couldn't be bothered to deal with this idiot and handed him over to his secretary. I picked up the things I had just bought and left. However, all domineering CEOs have their domineering CEO syndrome, and inexplicable self-confidence is one of the symptoms of this syndrome. He's probably been too idle lately, so I've become his target for harassment. Dr. Lisa, are you playing hard to get? I admit, your tricks have indeed caught my attention. You little tease. Woman, don't test my patience, otherwise, you won't be able to handle the consequences. Oh, you're such a cute little kitten. Ah, heavens, if I have sinned, please send me to jail. Tom looked at the message from the domineering CEO and laughed so hard he was pounding his chest and stomping his feet. You little imp. Ha 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 ha, little kitten. Ha 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 ha. Let me see your adorable little paws. Ha 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 ha. I looked at him with a forced smile. Are you so happy because you're reminiscing about the unforgettable times you two shared? What did he use to call you? Strong little kitten. Tom shuddered. Don't talk nonsense. I was just making do at the time. What strong little kitten? Ugh, sigh. I sigh. After spending so long in this idiotic world, I've become increasingly abnormal. However, the treatment of the domineering CEO's illness is urgent. And I can't wait any longer. Actually, the domineering CEO hasn't been having an easy time lately. Several of his recent investments haven't performed particularly well. Originally, this was supposed to be a turnaround opportunity, but now we've intercepted it. According to the original plot, he will later have a biotech lab that develops an anti-cancer drug. If I intercept this as well, will he go bankrupt? We can't let the domineering CEO die, but it should be fine if he goes bankrupt. However, before making him go bankrupt, I need to do some psychological groundwork with him, so I had no choice but to hold my nose and chat with him. Every day, I tirelessly fed him inspiring stories of great people who went from having nothing to becoming trillionaires. Are you concerned about me, you little hypocrite? You are truly the most unique woman I have ever met. I admit, I am very interested in you. Sigh. This is really tough. If it weren't for saving his miserable life, I wouldn't have to put up with this. I was here dealing with the domineering CEO with feigned compliance, while Kathy swiftly snatched up that biotech lab. In the original story, the lab was just one step away from developing an anti-cancer drug. However, due to the massive early investments with no visible results, the investors lost confidence and decided to pull out. That hidden gem was then discovered by the domineering CEO. But now, before the CEO could find it, Kathy had already taken over. The CEO's company was on the verge of collapse, and he quickly became too busy to send me those childish and disgusting messages anymore. I felt the air around me become refreshingly new, and I couldn't help but want to cling to Kathy's leg and cry my heart out to express my gratitude. The biotech company quickly achieved a new breakthrough, and industry giants who got wind of the news all wanted a piece of the pie. Kathy's company's stock price soared, instantly becoming the hottest commodity around. However, the tycoon's company gradually began to decline. Okay, but before I could wait for the domineering CEO to go bankrupt, I ended up having an accident myself. When I woke up, my mind was still a bit hazy. I only remember having a great time with a few handsome guys at the club last night, and then I blacked out from drinking. Sigh, drinking really is harmful. I drank too much and still feel terrible. I'm never drinking again. I moved a bit and realized my hands and feet were tied up. I knew it. How could a brain-dead domineering CEO abuse novel be complete without a kidnapping plot? But if you're going to kidnap someone, at least get the right person. I'm not the female lead, so why are you kidnapping me? I mentally cursed the kidnapper's ancestors for 18 generations, then prepared to survey my surroundings. Turning my head, I saw the female lead, Susan, tied up right next to me. I have to admit, the kidnappers are quite professional. They didn't get the wrong person. I was just about to check if there was any escape route around when Susan woke up. A masked kidnapper suddenly emerged from some dark corner. Awake, both of you are the ones Lewis loves the most. Let's see how much he's willing to sacrifice for you. I sighed. Bro, I'm just a passerby. I have nothing to do with Lewis. Humph, you can fool others with that. But don't even think about fooling me. I hacked into Lewis's phone. I have all your chat records. I was speechless. This kidnapper's skills are misplaced. Still, thinking about Lewis's ridiculous remarks like, clingy little kitten, I can't help but feel a bit sorry for the kidnapper. Big brother, you hacked into someone's phone, and instead of gathering any confidential information, you're busy reading their chat history. You have quite the unique hobby. The kidnapper was also a bit distressed. I wish I could get some confidential info, but he doesn't have any. This idiot Lewis is either telling one woman, you crazy little wildcat, or telling another, you've successfully caught my attention. Ugh, sigh, Lewis, look at the mess you've made. Even the kidnapper is disgusted by you. I'm going to try to argue a bit more. You know he's an idiot. Can you really take those chat records seriously? I really have nothing to do with him. Enough nonsense. Lewis will be here soon. Whether there's a connection or not, it will all become clear when he arrives. As they were speaking, Lewis had already arrived, dressed in a suit and leather shoes, with perfectly styled hair, as expected of a brain-dead domineering CEO, still focused on showing off at a time like this. Lives are at stake, either bring people to help or call the police. Is this really the place for you to show off? I rolled my eyes so hard they nearly went to the back of my head. Lewis began negotiating with the kidnappers. Don't hurt them, you can have as much money as you want. Alright, I want 100 million, as long as you don't hurt them, we can negotiate the price. The kidnapper knew how to stir things up. I want the money, but I can only release one person. You choose. I sigh. Can we have fewer of these low-tier plot devices in the future? What's wrong with these villains? Always picking and choosing. They're so ruthless. Just kill them all and be done with it. I'm not even fully sober yet. I feel so sleepy right now. Let's just end this boring game already. Lewis hesitated for a long time before finally saying, I choose Lisa. A group of black-suited bodyguards suddenly appeared and quickly subdued the kidnappers. In less than 3 minutes, the police rushed in and immediately took them away. Susan froze. This, I smiled at her. I have the most advanced trackers on me, my phone, earrings, hair tie. They all have them. Susan was stunned. You hired bodyguards in advance. Yeah, I'm rich now. Isn't it normal to hire a few people to protect myself? So, what do you think? They're all handsome single guys. If you like any of them, I can give you their WeChat. Susan blushed but then grew sad. He chose you just now. He clearly said he would only ever like me. Do you actually believe that kind of bullshit? A man's words are a devil's lies. You heard what that kidnapper just said. He's been flirting with more than one woman. Susan looked utterly miserable. I've always felt that I exist solely to love him. Sigh. Hearing that made my head hurt. The girls in this damn novel are so self-sacrificing, each one unconditionally devoted to the scumbag. I really want to shout, girls, wake up. We need to be good to ourselves first. We need to love ourselves first. If you don't even love yourself, how can you expect others to love you? I looked at Susan. You graduated from a prestigious university too. Look at what you've been doing all these years. Have you forgotten what your dreams used to be? Susan studied art and met the domineering CEO at an art exhibition. After all, she is the female lead. The author has maxed out her skill points in certain areas. Susan is highly accomplished in the arts. During her school years, many of her works were exhibited, and she won numerous awards. However, after getting involved with the domineering CEO, she became preoccupied with romance every day and long abandoned her professional pursuits. Still, given the fundamental tone of this book, the female lead is considered a beneficiary in the story. Awakening her is likely not going to be that easy, based on the principle of letting go of the desire to help and respecting others' fate. I've decided not to say too much. awakening is something that outsiders can only assist with, ultimately. It has to be achieved by oneself. If she can't wake up on her own, then let her sleep to death. The kidnappers were arrested by the police. Susan, Lewis, and I were also taken to the police station to give statements. Kathy and Tom came to the police station to pick me up. They were extremely worried. When Kathy saw me, she held me and looked me over from head to toe for a long time, making sure I was truly unharmed before she finally relaxed. Tom also breathed a sigh of relief. Fortunately, you had the foresight. The group of bodyguards you hired turned out to be somewhat useful. I got into Kathy's car, and Susan chased after me, leaning against the window without saying a word. I sighed and handed her a business card. You haven't figured things out for yourself yet. Call me when you've made up your mind. Susan took the card, her eyes shimmering with gratitude. Lewis also ran out. Kathy stepped on the gas, leaving him in a cloud of exhaust fumes. The tycoon's empire collapsed very quickly. These businesspeople have a keener sense of smell than dogs. Realizing that the tycoon's enterprise was on its last legs, everyone pounced on it to take a bite. Kathy's business talent is exceptional. She was the first to notice the signs and, with my advice, carved out the most valuable parts. Kathy established a new company. After all, her previous company was registered under the Thomas family name, no matter how well it performed. It wasn't truly her own. She gradually transferred all the profitable businesses to the new company, taking full control of her own career. The newly acquired parts actually have little to do with me, but Kathy still gives me dividends according to the previous proportion. Looking at the numbers on the contract, I felt a bit embarrassed. I only gave you a bit of advice. The new company is now entirely your own business, so you don't need to give me dividends. I've already received quite a bit of money from you during this time. Kathy had big, wavy hair and was dressed in a full Chanel suit. She was already beautiful, but now that she had her own career and confidence, she practically glowed. If you hadn't reminded me, I might still be playing the role of the villainess, wasting all my time fighting other women over a man. Thinking back on it now, it's really meaningless. I know you don't need money right now, but we're comrades in arms. And when we win a battle, the spoils should be shared among us all. However, the new share of the profits did not include Tom. Kathy's reason was quite simple. I gave him a share of the money in the first place out of respect for you. He didn't contribute much, and he's not giving me any advice now. Besides, he's a landlord now and doesn't need the money. Tom indeed didn't need the money. He now owned far more properties than he ever had in his previous life. He could comfortably live out the rest of his days. Kathy treated everyone to a meal, calling it a celebration banquet, but before the celebratory toast could even be raised, Susan entered the private room. She seems to have thought it through. I want to study abroad. It was my dream before, and I had already received an acceptance letter from a foreign university. I didn't go because he wanted me to stay by his side. Now that I think about it, wasting so much time on such a selfish person really isn't worth it. I'm so excited I could dance. The female lead has awakened. This is absolutely worth celebrating. I wish I could rush to the domineering CEO's villa right now and set off firecrackers. Kathy raised her glass. That's great. To you getting rid of that scumbag. Let's have a toast to celebrate. After drinking the celebratory toast, Susan seemed hesitant to speak. I pulled a card out of my bag. There's 300,000 in here. Take it for now. From now on, I'll cover all your tuition and living expenses. Susan didn't take the card. This doesn't seem appropriate. It's not a free gift. Once you've completed your studies, you'll have to pay back all this money, and after that, I'll take a 1% commission on every deal you close. Is that acceptable? Susan pursed her lips and nodded firmly. On the day Susan went abroad, the tycoon's company officially went bankrupt. And even his villa was auctioned off. Kathy and I gleefully ran to watch the commotion. The tycoon looked quite haggard, and his eyes were bloodshot when he saw me. I've never wronged you in any way. Why are you treating me like this? I glanced at him. Mr. Lewis, has your mind gone bankrupt along with your company? Your assets were divided up by everyone. We just joined in and took a small share. The domineering CEO put on a classic expression of fury. Invisible Software and Kangxing Biotech were both acquired by you, and you still say it has nothing to do with you. I smiled. It's just business. You can do it, and so can I. Are you the only one allowed to invest and acquire companies? The domineering CEO wanted to say more, but I had no patience to listen. You're busy flirting with women every day. Do you even have time to manage your company? Instead of blaming others, you should reflect on yourself. Your bankruptcy is entirely your own fault, and besides, I'm a doctor. When I see someone sick, I can't help but feel overwhelmingly compassionate, and you are sick, a selfish, controlling, narcissistic freak. Only by going bankrupt can you be cured, so you should thank me." Ignoring the domineering CEO's shouts, I had security throw him out. That said, I did put some thought into the domineering CEO. After all, he is the protagonist of this world. To ensure this world doesn't collapse, I spent a fortune hiring people to protect him. Perhaps in the future, I might even invest to help him make a comeback. Sigh, I am truly too kind. A year later, we gathered at the tycoon's villa. Oh no, it's Tom's villa now. Tom is now a genuine real estate tycoon, owning hundreds of properties. The few small startups I invested in have also achieved impressive results. Kathy is even more remarkable. She has taken over the position of the former domineering CEO and become the most powerful wealthy woman in the city. Although Susan hasn't graduated yet, her work has already gained some recognition abroad. Not only did she not need me to provide her with living expenses, but she also gave me a lot of dividends. Bella also developed her own industrial park, not only helping her fellow villagers become prosperous but also dedicating herself to assisting more impoverished mountain villages. I received a painting sent by Susan, depicting blue skies, white clouds, and the sea, with seagulls soaring between the heavens and the earth. I don't have much of an artistic sense and don't understand what it means. Kathy said this represents freedom. Freedom is good. Kathy stood up. My next goal is to take over all of Thomas's family's businesses and make them mine. They look down on me, don't they? I'm determined to make them work under me in the future. Ha ha ha, just thinking about it feels great. Kathy raised her glass. Here's to our career. Tom raised his glass as well. To real estate. I thought for a moment. To freedom, no matter the circumstances, no matter the hardships you face. Please be sure. Again and again, tirelessly, and without hesitation, to save yourself from the fires and floods of this world. After hearing the story above, what are your thoughts? Feel free to share your opinions in the comments section. Looking forward to hearing from you. If you like this story, don't forget to like it, share it, and subscribe to my channel. See you next time.